Hello everyone and welcome to Math with Miss Pellegrino. It's so good to, well, kind of see you all. I hope you're all doing well. For today's video, we are going to be taking a look at double-digit multiplication. So this is a review. We have done it before, but I want to go back over the two methods we learned to solve a problem like this one, where we have 54 times 37. The first method we learned to solve a problem like this is with an area model, also known as the box. So in order to solve a problem like 54 times 37 using an area model, the first thing I need to do is, well, draw my box. So because this is an area model, we need to think in terms of rows and columns. Our first number here, our first factor, gives me how many rows we have in my box. So I'm going to put that on the side. And my second factor gives me the number of columns. So I have my box, my sides are labeled 54 by 37. My next step is to split each side into tens and ones. Now, right now I have 54 rows. That's an awful lot of rows to be thinking about. So to make it a little easier, in this method, we take that 54 and we split it into 50 plus 4. Still equals 54, but it's a little easier to think about 50s and 4s. We'll do the same thing on the top with my 37 and turn it into 30 plus 7. There we go. So now I've taken my box and I've split it into 4 pieces. So I should have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. My next step is to find the area of each of these smaller pieces. So I'm going to grab another color here so we can see it really well. Let's take a look at my first piece. So in this smaller box, on one side I have a 50, and on the other side I have a 30. I know I'm going to multiply these two pieces because I'm trying to find the area of this small box. So I need to grab the length, which is my 50, and my width, which is my 30, and multiply them together to find my area. So 50 times 30, well, 5 times 3 is 15. There's 1, 2, 3, sorry guys, there's 1, 2 zeros. So my answer needs 2 zeros. And I have 1,500 as my answer. I'm going to do that same thing in each one of these 4 boxes. So on this box down here, I'm going to pull my 4 from the side and times it by my number on the top, which up here is 30. So I'm going to grab that 30 and bring it down here. And 4 times 30, well, 4 times 3 is 12 with 1 0. We can do that for each one of these boxes. So over here, I pull my 50 from the side and multiply it by my 7 from the top. So my answer here is 35, because 5 times 7 is 35, plus 1 0, so 350. Bottom box, can you guys figure out which numbers you'd pull for this one? Take a look, think about it for a moment. If you said 4 times 7, congratulations, you got it. So I'm pulling my 4 all the way from the side, because this tells me that this side of the box, right here, is worth 4 rows. And here we pull all the way from the top. This 7 tells me there are 7 columns in this small box. And 4 times 7 is, of course, 28. So now I have all of my boxes solved. These small answers here, let's pick one more color. These small boxes, my area for each one here, is called a partial product. I need all of my partial products to give me my whole product. So my last step is to add up those partial products. So I have 1,500 plus 120 plus 350 plus 28. Now notice when I added those up, when I went to add them, I made sure to always keep my ones lined up with my ones, my tens and my tens, and my hundreds stayed lined up with my hundreds. Remember that when adding, it's really important to line up your places so that you add correctly. So let's go ahead and add that. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 5 plus 2 is 9. I'm running out of space here, so when you do this on your own, make sure you give yourself plenty of space to work it. On my hundreds place, I have 5 plus 1 plus 3, which gives me 9. And then I'd have a 1 in my thousands and nothing else, so that 1 will come straight down. Give me an answer of 1,998. And that's the area model. So a couple things to look out for if you're using this method. When you're solving each small box, make sure you're pulling the correct numbers. So remember, you want to pull one number from the side and one number from the top. Remember that when you're finding your partial products here, make sure you're counting your zeros very carefully. So here we had 1, 2 zeros, which is why our answer also needed 2 zeros. So be careful with your zeros. And of course, when you're adding, make sure you're keeping everything lined up. Especially watch your neatness on this, because sometimes it can be easy to misalign something if you're moving a little too fast. So that's your area model. Now, if you don't like the area model, that's okay, because we did learn one other method for solving this sort of math problem. Let's take a look at that. The other way we learn to solve a problem like 54 times 37 is with the standard algorithm. So standard algorithm here has a couple steps. My first step is just to look at my ones. So for now, I'm going to pretend like that 3 in the 37 is not even there, and I'm just going to focus on the digit in the ones place. So in this case, it's 7. So instead of doing 37 times 54, I'm going to just do 7 times 54. Well, 7 times 54, 7 times 4 is 28. Carry my tens. 7 times 5 is 35, plus 2 more is 37. So I've solved my ones. My next step, let's grab, how about orange? My next step is to do the same for my tens place. So I've multiplied the 7 in 37. Now I need to multiply that 30. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that 3 back because I need it now. And let's focus on that 3. We're going to do 3 times 54. Now I'm saying 3, but we know because of our knowledge of place value that 3 is not just a 3. It's actually a 30. So I'm not doing 54 times 3, it's 54 times 30. And I know that anytime I multiply by a 10, because it has that 0 in the ones place, I'm going to end up with a 0 in the ones place of my answer as well. So I can go ahead and put that 0 down here before I even start multiplying. This way, when I start to multiply, I'm writing my answer in the tens place because I'm multiplying by the tens place. So let's multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to cross out that 2 because I already used it and I don't want to get confused. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So I have my second partial product of 1,620. My last step is actually the same as my area model. I'm going to go ahead and add my partial products. 8 plus 0 is 8, 7 plus 2 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9, and 1 plus nothing else is 1. So my answer is still 1,998. Now, the most common mistake I see with this method is this 0 right here. So remember when you start multiplying by the digit in your tens place, which as we remember here was a 3, we need to make sure we're putting a 0 down below to show that we're multiplying by a 10, not a 1. So just don't forget this 0 here. Now, whether you prefer the area model or the standard algorithm, it's okay. Both of them will get you the correct answer, so choose the one that makes more sense to you. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching, and good luck, everyone.